Huh? Come on, mate. Come off it now. You've got a video to do. Really? Yep. Come off it, mate. Leave it. Shut it down. Turn it off right now. You've got loads of shit to do. I am Couch Cooper and welcome to my review of Wild Hearts. I think it's plural. Now there's a couple of things I want to cover. It's from KT and Amiga Force. These are the people that gave us Ninja Gaiden and the new Wulong. They're amazing when they come together. Brilliant at third-person ARPGs. Their representation of feudal Japan along with the weaponry and costumes and all the brilliant attire that comes with that genre is flawless. Talking of flawless, this is what Monster Hunter World looks like. Well, it's not. It's what I make it look like because I'm Couch Coop. But it's a 2018 game, and it does still hold up against something brand new, and with a big budget behind it. That brings me over to EA Originals. Now, what does that mean to the man on the street? Well, it could be that the corporatism will be injected. Microtransactions, stupid paid DLC, things held back. Thankfully, we do not see too much of it. By the way, this is still Monster Hunter. Don't ever think they would get in bed with EA. I think that points to partly why this game exists. EA wanted a Monster Hunter equivalent. Do we have it here? Yes, in areas. It overperforms Monster Hunter in others. I want to show you where this game excels in that department and where it underperforms. Okay, oh my god, did I have a nightmare with this game. I'm on PC, this has just been released on the EA sort of plug-in, and that might be the case with PlayStation Network as well. $70 off the shelf still. Well, for the first time, a game defaulted to some settings my little PC couldn't handle. It went in at 60 and a sort of medium section with a lot of the sliders, and the game just couldn't handle it. It could not stay at a peg 60. It was 40, sometimes down to 30. It was breaking my heart because I really couldn't get it working properly for the first hour I sat down with it. Things do get worked out. I just want to explain what we're looking at here. If you've played Wulong or got involved with the way that camp system works, it's a little bit different to Monster Hunter. You've kind of got a blank canvas with what you can put in your camp. You can build stuff off the bat. Things like crafting benches and tents can be put where you want. As long as you've got the resources, you can start building up your camp and placing more around what is initially a map that is way too big. I thought Monster Hunter World's maps were a bit large and intricate. This is on a whole new level. Okay, I'm going to play you a very quick snippet of the combat. Now, this is the struggling 60 frames per second on medium settings with the graphics. Everything looks pretty damned amazing, and this scene is quite a luxurious one. You've got the green grass and the sunset, but it just wasn't keeping up with me. What I mean is input delay, lag everywhere. You know what I mean with ARPGs and the frames, they've got to be pegged.
Yeah, run!
Okay, here comes some of the obligatory slow walking around. We've made the change to 30 frames per second and we've slid the graphics right up to top settings. Immediately I'm seeing more fidelity in detail. Everything just looks richer and the 30 frames is rock solid. If you're playing Starfield, you'll realize that if it's locked, it's okay. Tears of the Kingdom, that sort of thing. There is no fluctuation. So I was semi-happy with this situation, but seriously gutted that I couldn't get this game going at 1080, 60 frames per second, GTX 1660 on any of the settings, be it medium, low, or base level. Just walking around in this game, just looking at the map and seeing the other creatures that will be passive unless you instigate or they're part of a quest. So you get to look at a lot of things before fighting some of these bigger animals. And you see that dissipation working there. The environment's moving around everywhere. I'm also going in completely blind with this review. I haven't researched or looked at other people playing this, be it on console or Xbox. So tell me if the performance issues are across the board. I cannot remember if I've seen SkillUp's thumbnail saying, I do recommend, I don't recommend. Alright, let's have them. Let's have some of the monsters, some of this combat. Now, you only start with 5 weapons. Monster Hunter's got, I think, 14 off the bat. In the katana, I seem to gravitate to, but I did want to try some of the range. There's only one, and you get the bow. You also get a parasol, which has got a parry on it. It's very interesting. Almost feels like the insect glaive. And the sword, the katana that you start with, that is straight up the dual swords. It's got this weird rage mode that you have to click in and out of. It takes some getting used to, and it is not highlighted to you properly. The bow, you can't tell which mode you're in. You've got 2 switch outs with the arrow type, so it's just fire and find out. Okay, here's the clip I've been looking forward to showing you guys. It's the same fight, but we're back in at those 30 frames, and we're on that higher setting graphically. This guy's voices, everything annoys me. He needs to go to the doctors, right, to get that looked at. Now look at this horrendous rat on top of the hillside here. It's got an annihilation look to it. All of them have. They're like mutated naturally. And that thing on its tail, you badly need that for an upgrade. I tell you, it is the only thing you need for this upgrade. So there's a big focus on maiming these things. So now I'm back and I feel completely in control with these locked 30 frames per second. It's a little bit like that scene with the kid and the doll. Just show the clip. So now I'm getting involved, as you can see, with the ordnance. When I saw the trailer for this game, I was like, oh my god, boxes. Who cares about a plywood wall? You need like dual swords and machine guns, but it works incredibly well. They're kind of like super jumps, and you can also get one that makes you slide, and you can incorporate them big time with your combat plan. This is only the first layer of the ordnance. Stuff gets super cool. The other cool stuff is the mad phase shift or sort of transformation that the monsters go through the more you're hurting them. And just like World, there's no health bar. It's always been a tradition with the Monster Hunter series, and it's just the same here. He's standing on that thing. The animations are incredible, and when they turn ultra evil, there's all these really cool things coming out of the ground. There's a big remnant from the ashes root vibe, and they've got that limp away. Perfect. Are you, is everything okay, mate? Are you gushing about this game? You know it's from EA Origins, yes, but the team have really given their genetics with it. I so much love Nia's vibes with all the sort of small little trinket things that you collect, that sort of old gods vibe with it, the almost spiritual angle with the bonfires and recouping, and even the armor sets to a certain extent. Princess Mononoke, even with the wild boar, it wouldn't be too hard to imagine the spirit of the forest being the final boss. That sort of mutation gone nasty angle, it's really well duplicated here. It makes you feel like you're playing something that's not cheap. I do want to talk about map traversal briefly. You heard me mention about their size, and in early game, before you get a lot of gear and kit, you have to manually climb up stuff. Now, unlike Monster Hunter, this has got a Breath of the Wild stamina system on climbing walls, and it is a headache that is not needed at the front of the game. Also, the maps are just cavernous. There is no plain direction towards the monsters, particularly if they move. That all gets eased a bit, and using those ropes is amazing. Didn't realise you could go upwards on them. I thought they were only down for ages. But this fight rocked my little socks. His particular arenas and his transformation scene are some of the thirstiest on a graphic level that I'd seen so far on the game. This blossom tree and this whole arena just caused so many problems. But with the 30 frames, it stuck to around about 25. Things were pretty damn smooth, and this stuff went completely off the hook. I mean, I was really open-mouthed at this point that I was potentially playing one of EA's best Monster Hunter clones. And just when I thought I couldn't be wowed anymore, I'm taken onto the top of a massive mountain, beautiful yellow flowers, the sun starts setting, the music hypes up, and I'm thinking, hang on a minute, is this worth 70 quid? No. But it is 1,000 times worth downloading on a subscription service, especially if you've got some online co-op buddies. The ending scene of this fight, I almost stood up and clapped. I've definitely had a few subconscious nightmares about this cockerel. I think it's terrifying to me. Just its attack patterns and its look. Remember that Annihilation comparison, the branches coming off the tails, the almost Geiger-esque spiked head, the enemy design and choreographed attacks are absolutely amazing. Does it have a decent single-player offline campaign? And the answer to that is yes. All of this footage is offline. It asks you if you want to call in assistance, and because I'm on Game Pass and PC and don't have to pay extra to play people online, I can. But I didn't choose to. I wanted to strip this down, and I love that bombing run, and just show you guys what it is without having it technically linked to the internet. You do need the plug-in EA app, obviously, but yeah, there's huge amounts of content to be enjoyed here if you just don't want to have to bring randoms in or play it on your own. This is this monster's transformation scene, and it goes from something from Watership Down to one of the most terrifying beasts on the front end of the game. This thing caused me quite a lot of problems because it's airborne. I didn't want to go to range, but I just love the animations, love the look as well against this green grass, blue skies. It's kind of got a very distinctive feel. Do the monsters interact with each other like on World, or even Rise? Can you take them to other monsters to fight them or even ride them? Technically, no. I had no interruptions during an actual fight from another monster. I did witness some turf war stuff, but it wasn't anything on Monster Hunter World's interaction front. This is the introduction to Lava Kong, I'm going to call him, and Sekiro has a giant ape in it, and I think Wulong's second fight is a gorilla / giant ape. Can we start giving more of the primates some attention, please? Gibbons. I was having this chat with someone the other day. They've got a 360-degree wrist, right? And they are by far the most ballsy of all of the monkeys. They tease tigers just for fun. They just do it for shits and giggles. I want to see more gibbonry in boss fight arenas in the future, please. But let's talk about this guy. He is a bit of a wake-up call. If you haven't developed armor or got a decent weapon or even something that's got water in it, that would massively help. But here comes the here comes the big ordnance. And does this thing help? A little bit. So you're about to see something pretty cool with the woodwork. If you've got enough, you can see me gathering it up here. I think it's 10. You can actually build a giant mallet tower, and it's stationary, so you've got to get it whilst the monster's not doing anything. My god, is it satisfying. And it's just one of a few things that you can bring up during a fight. There's some elevation, and there's a monocycle / motorbike for traversal that I saw a screen grab of, so I'm all up for developing this area. Okay, let's start complaining a little bit, because Jesus Christ, the EA check is in the post. The hub of the main game itself is easily the size of most normal video games, and it cannot run at higher than 20 frames per second on my particular setup, even with all of this 30 pegged and meddling around I've been doing. As soon as you start running around, I think there's so many outlets and so many NPCs stuffed in here that it just can't handle it. That's a bit of a shame, because it's very attractive and it's got a lot of really cool aspects to it, little nooks and crannies with secret NPCs and traders and things to find. So hopefully that one is going to get worked out. Here is the helicopter. When you get that going in combat, things kind of change up quite massively. What do I feel it does better on than Monster Hunter World? Well, it's a bit like the Elden Ring thing. That has a camera focus or lock on. When you lock onto a boss, the camera can keep up with everything that's going on cinematically. If you don't have the lock on, you're manually using the camera, which is what Monster Hunter World has, but that adds a little bit of realism to the fight, because you've got to find the thing you're actually trying to kill. The camera won't do all that work for you. So I do prefer that with this particular game. I would not want to see that introduced into the Monster Hunter series, but it sort of suits this perfectly. It's also just given me more of this game model that I love. I played lots of Nier 1 and 2 and even Wulong, and I love the collectibles, I love the spiritualist angle, the soundtracks, all the feudal stuff. So I've got loads of content to get on with here, and I'm hitting the ground running because I can play Monster Hunter, making half the battle a little bit easier. Does it run properly on my system? No, and this is a real big one because I'd love to hear what it's like on current gen systems. I'm very tempted to look at it on the PlayStation 5, but I don't want to fork out all that money for it. So I want loads of comments on this, please. And also I did a Monster Hunter vs Rise video that's actually proven to be quite popular. I'm as shocked as you. Links are in description, have been CouchCube, and I will see you down there. I will also put a link to the More Gibbons in Gaming crowdfunder in the comments.